Going to date a black woman in America, you need to know that the chances are you'll most likely run into sisters who come from this background and have the qualities, personalities, and characteristics we're going to discuss in this video. So let's start with where she came from and her upbringing as a child.
I haven't had that issue with Caucasian men.
Born in a household which has a financial structure that promotes paycheck to paycheck, located in the inner city. In that community, she was exposed to violence and trauma.
Motherfucking duh. Yes, I want a nigga like that. I want a nigga that got motherfucking guns and choppers, bitch. Yes.
Both within the household and outside the household. Her experience include neighborhood violence and domestic violence, which has a lasting impact on her mental health and well-being.
I don't live here, I'm chilling.
You chilling here? Why are you not taking your flight?
It's none of your business. Now go home.
Her family struggled to meet basic needs like food, clothing, and shelter. Her experience with material hardship when it comes to food, insecurity, inadequate housing, and minimal access to essential resources has programmed her mindset to make it her goal as a grown adult to frame her lifestyle to where she can eat as much as she wants.
Oh my God.
Shop clothing and buy a big house without the fear of obesity.
What the?
Living paycheck to paycheck.
Dingy, but I'm the type of person I can't live when I walk into no race. I ain't ever have, and I ain't trying to.
Or foreclosures, which predisposes her to be the #1 consumer of fast food and junk food, ranging from Flamin' Hot Cheetos to McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Takes a mindset to go to McDonald's. The totem pole of what's the worst type of food to eat?
It's McDonald's.
#1 in having the highest rates of home foreclosures. External factors motivated black women in poverty to accept outside assistance at the expense of removing black men out of the households.
That is insanity if you ever saw it.
Independency and vacate traditional relationship dynamics, which decreased the level of submission from a woman to a man and elevated the likelihood of divorce and chance of a child being raised by a single mom. So, in this situation, as a young black daughter, it is common for her to take on caregiving responsibilities for her younger siblings or other family members due to parental schedules, illnesses, or other factors.
What do you mean by that?
The black women in the United States are the worst group of black women you can date on the planet. That's why nobody outside of the black community is rushing in to try to talk to them, rushing in to try to vet them for marriage, rushing in to have children. No one. And that is a reason. The market has spoken.
I'm talking about cuckoo.
I'm saying this in a very nice way.
Chill.
I'm sorry.
Well, not so nice, but whatever.
Whoa, now. Here's the issue. A lot of black women, as black men, we know we gotta compete. No matter where we go, we gotta compete. If you're gonna make the football team, you gotta be the best at your position on the football team. If I'm gonna be the best entertainer, the best rapper, that means I gotta study, I gotta have the right equipment, I gotta have the right flow, I have the right, everything. The production gotta be right, you gotta compete. In order for me to have that beautiful woman, that baddie, that everybody, I have to compete for her. The thing is, with black women, they don't want to compete.
There's not a big pool of good men.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
That is a lie.
That's not a lie. You tell me.
Listen, there's not a lot of good men who want y'all. I'm clapping for myself. Where the good man at? Like they hiding under a rocker in a cave. They everywhere. They at the gas station. They at Costco. They at Equinox. They at the bank. They walking right past you and you don't show up on their radar because of the way you are. They're gonna walk right by you. Your pretty face ain't gonna go too far because everybody's pretty. That's a prerequisite. So if that's all you got to offer, we not looking at you. But there's plenty of good men. They just don't want your ass. I ain't never heard no woman say, I know I ain't shit. When have you ever heard a woman admit to not being shit? She'll say, this man ain't shit, he ain't shit, he was bad, he was bad, he was bad, he was bad. But for the most part, every woman think they're a good woman. What makes you a good woman? Who's auditing that you're a good woman? You are auditing yourself. Why don't you ask your exes what they think? Because all your relationships diminished and ended in turmoil.
So she feel as though I should be able to accept her as she is. So at one point in time, I remember black women, they were pushing, like when they were doing the thing, and the gender guys were like coming at us They were like, oh, y'all should be acceptable. Y'all should be.
This is another thing I want to address too, because it seems like there's a lot of homophobic rhetoric that goes on specifically with black women, and nobody in the LGBT ever holds black women accountable. We don't have women on the show say, oh, because black women in the LGBT, we have this alliance or whatever the case is. But a lot of the rhetoric that black women say towards black men is very homophobic, and nobody calls them out for that. So you could openly just say, well, y'all gay, this, that, and the third, even though they not gay. And y'all swear every black man is secretly gay, which is not a fact. There's no data to prove that. Just because a man doesn't automatically see you and want to spend money on you, then, oh, he must be gay.
You know, I remember entertainers were getting hit on, and they was like expressing like, oh, it's cool, but nah, we not. And then they started shaming us. So I'm just telling you, if we are the most sought after men on the face of the planet, right? Why, if we have to compete, even being the best, if we gotta compete, you have to compete. The thing about it is, black women, I'm gonna give you the answer why black men run to other races of women.
Here's why black men date outside of their race. It comes down to men going where they feel love. As a successful black guy, a high earning black guy, and I know other high earning black men, there's no incentive for us men to deal with women just because we look like them that are not bringing us peace. Now, I feel like a lot of black women have pent up trauma because black men do need to be better leaders and make better decisions as well, which is causing that trauma. But let's not act like this is just one side to this coin. Black women need to also make better decisions in the men that they pick. Stop glorifying the Pookie and Ray Rays, and more black men will actually want to be more successful, clean cut, and better leaders. So the decisions black women make, along with men not being better leaders, is what's causing this divide. Black men dating outside their race, black women being angry about it, and it's up to the men and the women to fix it. Both sides need to take better responsibility in creating a better dating community for the black race. That's my honest opinion.
Because, plain and simple, these women are competing. We love black women. Don't stop me from loving black women, but how many times am I gonna be disrespected, told that I'm sassy?
Black men seem to be getting very sassy, and I'm not liking it.
I got called sassy. Before we get into the story, I just want to say, ladies, y'all are really driving that word into the ground. You can't call every dude sassy that just don't agree with you, man.
Y'all know my background. Told that I'm this and that, and she don't even know me from a can of paint. So we're gonna go where we'll celebrate it and appreciate it, and not where we're tolerated. For real.
I don't live here, I'm chilling.
You chilling here? Why are you not taking your flight?
It's none of your business. Now go home.
Come here. Come. Please sit down.
Be quiet. I'm not sitting down. My plan is to reconstruct this whole country, okay? I'm asking for 100K or more. I need 20K by this week, okay? In my pockets, in cash.
The son of Onaja Robinson. Right now, she has a mental bipolar disorder, so she can't think correctly at this moment. She was not married to nobody. I'm trying to help her as her son to come back to the U.S. She was only supposed to go to Pakistan to meet him and his family.
Dudes that I know who date outside their race, outside of our black race, were looked at as lames in the black community.
Yeah.
It wasn't a situation where it's like, okay, now I grew up aspiring to be with a white woman. What the story is typically I grew up, I was in my black neighborhood, I didn't fit in, the women didn't want me, I would shoot my shot and they would curve me over and over and over again. But then when I went to talk to this white girl, she was vibing with me and we just picked it up and then went from there. So now I date white women now. But it's not a situation where it's like, oh, no, I was bred, I was taught since young, and oh, no, I want to be the white woman. Black woman, hell no, I'm good. Now, when the same dude, that nerd, who was lame in the neighborhood, you wasn't given no opportunity, hell no, I don't want to go on no date. Just get away from me, The same dude 15 years later is a multimillionaire. And now he's dating a white woman, and you looking at him like, oh, it's sold out. Most dudes that I know who date outside their race, outside of our black race, were looked at as lames in the black community.
Came through and said, hey, black men are probably the most desired men on the planet. Black men, you know, and this is coming from an Italian man, okay? These are not my words. I'm not saying I disagree, but hey, not my words nonetheless. He said, look, black men are the more attractive, they're the more loving men, right? The more athletic, the whole nine. He even came through and said this.
I got a bit on what you said earlier. The reason why, even though I prefer sisters no matter where in the world that I go, but the reason why most women around the world of any nationality or creed or whatever the case may be prefer foundational Black American freedmen men is because we're the #1 group of men on the planet that wake up every day not wanting to identify as our oppressors. Yep. That's a very shameful thing too, Brother Tariq, because see, think about it. Let's just talk real. And, oh, they ain't gonna like this, but I gotta go ahead and tell the truth. The truth shall set you free. The thing about it is, when you are historically conquered by Europeans, and then you seek to identify as them, what does that say to the women? The strength of any society comes from the strength of its men. Then it flows down to the women and the children. So if you submit to your oppressor before your women, they're like, well, hell, either I'm going to go get a white man, or if they don't want a white man, they say, you know what? Who's the only other group of men on the planet that wake up every day proud to be black? With that said, I shall land my foundational Black American freedman plane.
Absolutely. Brother, that's real talk right there. Like we are the only people who are really comfortable in our skin like that. A lot of these buffer groups, like the couple of tethers who called, the worst ones are the wannabe Anglos, especially the ones of Pakistan, India, wannabes, because they are part of that Aryan thing, but they don't have the white skin, but they got the Aryan mindset.
So clearly what we're dealing with is we have women with mental issues, we have women with health issues, and we have a situation where us as black men have to take on a lot of these ailments, especially for the sister out of New York, where her son, as you can see in the picture, her son is vying for her to come home. Eventually she came home. But this is not to degrade, put down. It's just to highlight that this is what we have to go through in terms of this is the pick of the litter that we have to pick from. And if this is the litter we have to pick from, well, we don't have much to pick from. And their complaints are the same thing when it comes to us. You know, they're saying there's not enough black men. But the thing about it is the treatment.
Someone that follows you.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying? What make you think you greater than Jesus?
But until next time, I'll leave you with this Geno Jennings clip. All right.
And Kamala Harris.
That's right.
That endorsed this homosexual trash.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole Democratic hypocrite.
Amen.
None of you.
Go ahead.
None of you is a Christian that endorse same-sex marriages.
That's right.
Not one.
That's right.
Not one.
Not one. That's right.
Hear me good.
Amen.
I don't care if you're black as the street, white as snow, yellow as butter, or clear as water.
Oh, yeah.
Any of you preachers or any of you judges, Democrat or Republican or from the Supreme Court that endorse same-sex marriages, you're nothing but low-down liars.
That's right.
And you pulpit, Cadillac driving, scared bums.
Go ahead.
That is too weak because the devil took your spine.
Go ahead.
To stand up against it, you ought to go to hell, God knows.
That's right.
Are you listening?
Before I formed thee in the belly.
God said, before I formed thee in the belly.
I knew thee.
Before I made you.
I knew thee.
I already knew you before I made you.
That's right.
I already knew what you were.
Before I
And if
formed
he
thee.
can tell Jeremiah he knew what he was, then I'm telling you right now, tonight, God know what you are.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
I don't matter if you got homosexuals in your family.
No.
I got homosexuals in mine.
Amen.
The Bible don't change.
No.
If I got any parents here and you know you got a son named Sam and you want him to change his name to Samantha, you ain't no Christian, you's a hypocrite.
That's a hypocrite.
If I got any women here, thank God that's putting lipstick on your son, you're teaching your son blasphemy.
Blasphemous.
God said, let us make man.
Let us make man. That's it.
You parents, stand up.
That's right.
And stop being scared and say you accept the children the way they are. No parent that fear God will accept wrong.
That's right. That's right.
Are you listening? Glory to God. Oh, we gonna preach it. God knows.
Oh, yes.
Oklahoma, if you thought at any time I was any different in person than I was over the air, that devil made a fool out of you.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
The only difference is when you get upset watching me over the air, you can turn it off.
These are the women we got to choose from out here. She's supposed to be elite.
Only elite to a fool.